tell us what you actually saw?
Yeah, well, I actually heard the explosion itself. I was about 400 meters away in a building of 400 meters away from the U.S. Embassy itself in the Lake neighborhood at just after 11 o'clock this morning, local time. I got to the scene around 11:30, 11:40, and by that point, there was a large crowd of people who were sort of looking towards the embassy. There was quite a lot of security activity. We saw security vans moving around. There appeared to be on the street about 100 meters away, so quite far away from the embassy walls, what looked to be a human body part. We had heard from witnesses who are being quoted by the state news agency that it had been a suicide bomber, possibly on a motorcycle, who had blown himself up. We still don't have official confirmation, and we're still getting details at the moment. But there was also, I spoke to someone who was inside the embassy at the time, so not an eyewitness, but someone who was in the embassy who said that actually there had been a man who had blown himself up outside of the embassy.
Fadil, where the embassy is located, is it a busy part of Tunis?
No, not particularly. It's actually it's a business district. It's not very close to downtown at all. But there are quite a few embassies around the area. There's quite a lot of international institutions and development institutions that are in the same area of Lake, and particularly around the embassy itself. There's quite a big sort of a space and a barrier between the embassy and other buildings. There's quite a bit of a buffer zone with lots of security, and it appears that if the explosion happened in that area, and not necessarily anywhere close to the entrance of the embassy.
Have there been any previous situations where there have been concerns about security? You know, had authorities been placed on heightened alert because of threats of such actions?
We have seen a few other suicide attacks in recent years, mostly targeting Tunisian security forces, not targeting civilians. That has been the case over the last 4 or 5 years in particular. We also saw back in 2013, I believe 2012 or 2013, there had been an attack on the U.S. Embassy. Not any sort of arms, but there had been sort of a storming of the embassy at that time. And of course, after that, the U.S. Embassy had taken security measures, increasing the security and also increasing the wall, the size of the wall outside of the embassy at that time.
Fadil Ali-Reza there from Tunis. You were just seeing their live images of what clearly is a developing story. Just recapping for viewers who may have just joined us, we believe that at least 5 people have been injured in what appears to be a suicide bombing near the American embassy in the Tunisian capital, Tunis. Fadil Ali-Reza, our correspondent, who happened to be close to the scene at the time, heard a large explosion. Obviously, as you can imagine, this is a developing story, and we'll keep you abreast as more details come to hand.